A quiet house. The ticking of a clock. A mother, Amara, sets the dinner table, one plate short. Her son Ayan has been gone for 3 years, leaving after an argument. She whispers, "Maybe tonight he'll come home." Her husband watches silently, hiding his tears. Sometimes love speaks loudest, in silence. Amara keeps a box of letters she wrote to Ayan, unsent. Each letter ends with, "I'll be waiting." The fight, Ayan shouting, "You never believed in me." He leaves, slamming the door. Amara falls to the ground, holding a family photo. Regret grows in the spaces words should have filled. One rainy evening, a knock. A young woman, Sarah, stands, soaked, holding an envelope. She says softly, "I was Ayan's friend. He wanted you to have this." Amara's hands shake. Fate doesn't always bring people back. Sometimes it sends their memories. A montage of Amara reading the first page of Ayan's letter. "Dear Mom, if you're reading this, I hope you've forgiven me." Cut to black. To be continued. Ayan's letter reveals his struggle, working abroad, sick, but too ashamed to return. He writes, "I wanted to make you proud before coming back." Tears fall as Amara whispers, "You already did, my son." A mother's pride isn't in success, it's in love. Sarah gives Amara a small box, Ayan's old watch, and a pendant engraved, "For the one who never stopped waiting." Amara clutches it close. Time stopped for him. But love kept ticking. Amara plants a tree near Ayan's childhood swing. She hangs his watch on a branch like a memory frozen in time. Sarah visits often, becomes like a daughter. Sometimes the family we lose leaves behind the family we find. Years later, Amara, older now, sits beneath the tree. Sarah's little son runs around. She calls him Ayan. The child hugs her and says, "Nani, are you happy now?" She smiles through tears. "Yes, my love." He kept his promise. Love never dies, it just finds new voices. In a quiet house, where laughter once lived, only silence remains. A mother named Amara sets the dinner table. 3 plates. She pauses, one plate, short. Maybe tonight he'll come home. Her husband watches, eyes filled with pain. He never speaks. It's been 3 years since their son Ayan walked out after a fight. It's been 3 years since their son Ayan walked out after a fight. "Ayan, wherever you are, my food's getting cold again." They say time heals all wounds, but some hearts keep bleeding in silence. Every night, Amara writes letters to her son. Letters she never sends. A box full of words that never reached him. Amara reading aloud. "My dear Ayan, I made your favorite curry again today. I don't know if you'd still like it, but I kept your plate ready. I'll be waiting." Her words are soaked with regret for that one argument years ago. Ayan's voice echoes in her memory. "Ayan, angry echo, you never believed in me, Ami. I'll make it on my own." He left that night, and Amara fell to her knees, clutching his photograph. Amara whispering, "You'll come back. You have to." One rainy evening. A knock breaks the silence. Amara opens the door to find a young woman, drenched, shivering. "Sarah Safle, are you Ayan's mother?" Amara, hopeful. You know my son." Sarah, ease. "I was his friend. He wanted you to have this." Hands her an envelope. Amara's hands tremble. as she holds the letter. The handwriting. Fate doesn't always bring people back. Sometimes, it only sends their memories. Amara opens the letter, her heart pounding. It begins, Ayan. Dear Mom, if you're reading this, I hope you've forgiven me. I left to prove myself. But life didn't go as I dreamed. I fell sick, but I didn't want you to worry. Wanted to come back home when I could say, I made it. Amara, you already made it. My son, you always did. Her tears fall on the ink as if trying to rewrite fate itself. Sarah opens her bag and takes out a small wooden box. Sarah, he wanted you to have this too. Amara opens it slowly. Inside lies Ayan's old wristwatch and a silver pendant. The pendant reads, For the one who never stopped waiting. Amara crying. Oh, Ayan, even when time stopped for you, my love didn't. She clutches the pendant close to her heart. Outside, the rain finally stops. As if heaven itself had cried enough. Days turn into months. Amara plants a tree in the garden, right beside Ayan's old swing. On one branch, she hangs his watch. Amara softly, You'll always be here, my son, watching time pass with me. Sarah visits often. Her presence fills the home with laughter again, something that had been missing for years. Sarah visits often. You remind me of him, Sarah. His kindness, his heart. Sarah, he'd want you to smile again. And so she does, a little more, every day. Years have passed. The small sapling Amara planted now stands tall, its branches touching the sky. The small sapling Amara planted now stands tall, its branches touching the sky. Beneath it sits Amara, older, her eyes calm and full of peace. Sarah's little boy runs up to her, his laughter echoing like sunlight. Boy, cheerful. Nani? Look, I can climb the tree, just like Uncle Ayan. Amara smiling through tears. Careful Ayan. Yes, they named him Ayan, so that the name would never fade from their lives. Boy, innocently. Nani, are you happy now? Mara softly, tearfully smiling. Yes, my love. He kept his promise. The wind carries her words toward the sky. A mother's love never ends. It just finds new voices, new hearts, new homes. And sometimes, the ones we lose never really leave. Because love is the only promise time can never break. A quiet house. The only sound is the steady ticking of a clock, each tick echoing the silence, marking the passage of time. Amara moves through the dim light of her kitchen, her hands moving with a familiar, practiced grace as she sets the dinner table. 1 plate, 2, 3. And then she pauses. Her hand hovers over the empty space where a 4th plate should be. 3 years. It's been 3 years since her son, Ayan, walked out that door after an argument. 3 years of setting 1 plate short. Every evening, a flicker of hope lights in her heart, a quiet prayer that tonight will be different. She arranges the silverware, her touch gentle, as if the memory itself is fragile. Leaning over the empty chair, she whispers to the silence, her voice thick with longing, maybe tonight he'll come home. She still remembers that night with a clarity that burns. The words they exchanged, sharp and heavy, still hang in the air like ghosts. He was so full of fire, of dreams she couldn't understand, and she, full of fear for him, had held on too tight. This isn't the life for you, Ayan. She had pleaded. He'd looked at her, his eyes a mix of frustration and hurt. "It's my life to live, Mom, not yours." The slam of the door had been the last thing she heard from him. Now, she looks at his empty room, untouched, a museum of a life paused, a half-finished painting on an easel, a stack of books by his bed. She runs a hand over the cool fabric of his favorite jacket, still hanging on the back of his chair. If she could just turn back time, what would she say differently? Would she have listened more? Argued less? Regret is a heavy blanket she wraps herself in every night. Days bleed into weeks, weeks into months, and months into 3 long years. The seasons change outside her window, but inside, time stands still. Amara's life has become a routine of waiting. She keeps the porch light on, just in case he comes home late. She bakes his favorite apple pie on his birthday, the sweet smell filling the house with a bittersweet ache. Friends tell her to move on, to accept it. But how can a mother move on from a piece of her own heart? She finds herself talking to him, sharing little things about her day with the empty chair at the dinner table. It's her way of keeping him close, of refusing to let the silence win. But with each passing day, the hope that flickers within her grows a little dimmer. Will she ever hear from him again? Or is this waiting all she has left? Then, one rainy Tuesday, something changes. The mail arrives, a small stack of bills and circulars, but tucked in between them is an envelope that makes her heart stop. It's a pale blue envelope, the kind she hasn't seen in years. Her hands tremble as she picks it up. There's no return address, but she knows. She just knows. The handwriting is messy, rushed, but it's unmistakably his. Ayan. After all this time, a letter. She sinks into a chair by the window, the rain streaking down the glass like tears. For a moment, she's too afraid to open it. What if it's not what she hopes for? What if it's goodbye? Taking a deep, shuddering breath, she slides her finger under the seal. What was inside the letter that had traveled so far to find her? Her breath catches in her throat as she unfolds the single sheet of paper. The letter is short, the ink slightly smudged as if by a teardrop. "Mom," it begins. "I'm sorry for everything. I was wrong. I was young and stubborn, and I should have listened. Not to your words, but to the love behind them. I've been working on a fishing boat, seeing the world like I always wanted to. It's beautiful, but it's empty without family." Amara's own tears begin to fall, splashing onto the page. He wrote about the vast, lonely ocean, about the stars at night that made him feel small, and reminded him of home. He didn't ask to come back. He didn't make excuses. He just said he was sorry, and that he missed her cooking, he missed her. It was everything she had longed to hear, and yet, it broke her heart all over again. At the bottom of the letter, there was a postscript. "Sai sent you something. It should arrive soon. It's not much, but it reminded me of you." A week later, a small, carefully wrapped package arrives. Inside is a conch shell, polished smooth by the ocean. When she holds it to her ear, she can hear the gentle roar of the sea. It's the sound of his world, the world he chose. And for the first time, she doesn't feel the sting of rejection. She feels a connection. It's as if he's sharing his journey with her, inviting her in. She places the shell on the mantelpiece, a bridge between their two worlds. That evening, as she sets the table, she does something different. She takes out the 4th plate, Ayan's plate, and places the beautiful conch shell in the center of it. It's no longer a symbol of absence, but a symbol of presence. The letter changes everything. The heavy weight of regret in Amara's heart begins to lift, replaced by a quiet sense of peace. She writes back, Her own letter filled not with scolding or I told you so's, but with love and forgiveness. She tells him about her garden, about the funny thing the neighbor's cat did, about how proud she is of the man he is becoming. She sends him photos of the apple pie she baked for him. They begin a new chapter, their relationship rebuilt through letters that cross oceans. The silence in the house is no longer empty. It's filled with anticipation for his next letter, with the stories he shares of distant shores and the people he's met. She realizes that love isn't about keeping someone close. It's about letting them go, knowing your heart is a home they can always return to, no matter the distance. Years pass. The letters continue to be a lifeline, a constant current of love flowing between mother and son. Ayan doesn't come home, not in the way Amara once desperately hoped. He found his life on the water, his peace under the wide open sky. But, in a way, he was home. He was in the shell on the mantelpiece, in the letters tucked away in her bedside drawer, in the stories she told her friends about her adventurous son. One evening, Amara sits at her dinner table, looking at the conch shell gleaming on Ayan's plate. She picks it up, holding it to her ear, and listens to the sound of the ocean. A gentle smile graces her lips. She finally understands. His departure wasn't an ending. It was a new beginning for them both. It was a story of forgiveness, of a love so strong it could span any ocean and bridge any distance. Family is a bond that distance can never truly break. It might stretch, it might get tangled, but it holds strong. This story is a reminder that it's never too late for forgiveness, and that love can find its way back, even across the widest of oceans. Thank you so much for sharing this moment with me. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more stories that connect us all. Until next time, take care.